Today we're gonna talk about the most efficient way to take notes for all your lifts. Um, it's pretty common for athletes to log their whole entire training week in one page or training day in one page, rather than logging it where they can see the big picture. They even spend money on a workout notebook or log book or create a template that has really no sense of direction or purpose to it. Okay, so why do we take notes? What is the purpose? Uh, is it to see what you did the week prior only, or to go even further back so you can assess on how to progress? Here, I'm gonna show you guys a few logbook or um, note taking. Um, the first two images, it's actually it doesn't for me it doesn't look very efficient, right? So basically if you log your notes this way, you basically like different exercises in one page, you're going to be flipping pages throughout the whole 12-week process, right? So on the third one, it's actually quite good right there. I'm sure this guy is probably focusing on bodybuilding, but if you look at the weight, he's like doing the same thing, like the 70 pound, right? He did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of 70 pounds. Um, Planning there is really like kind of poor, and it's a slow progress there. There's a lot of different programs out there. You can literally apply this note taking to any program. It's simple. All you need is a regular composition notebook or a notepad, right? You can also use your phone and see the little note app. I'm going to keep it simple as far as program. 2 day of back squat session, 2 days of bench press session, and 2 days of deadlift session as far as frequency. Okay. These repetition is usually run for 4 weeks, right? The first day of back squat, day one of back squat will be 5 reps. Day two of back squat will be 8 reps, right? This also apply on bench press and deadlift, and you will see like the rate of perceived exertion, 8 RPE. That means there's 2 reps in reserve. 9 RPE. That means you have 1 rep in reserve, and the 10 RPE is basically your true rep max. But we base these rate of perceived exertion on a good lift, good execution lift. So as we finish the first 4 weeks, we move on to wave two, right? Day one of back squat is for 3 reps. Day two of back squat is for 5 reps. Now, if you notice, the same thing, we start at 8 RPE, 9 RPE, 10 RPE, and we deload on the fourth week, right? So now on wave three, right? Day one of that lift is for heavy singles, and day two of that lift is for heavy triples. Yeah, so we, like I said earlier, as mentioned, we usually deload here around the fourth week. Some people would do it on the third week, or some people actually ride it all the way to the 8 week before they deload. Do what works. So this is an example of a top set RPE based program that we usually do in house, and of course, there's more to it behind it. We do other work. Um, so there's other program out there like 5x5, 531, just to name a few. But basically, this type of logging, it'll work too, and this way you could see the big picture. Now, let's move on to note taking. We usually run 4 to 12 week cycle in a year. That's a total of 4 cycle in a year. Now, let's see the first 12-week cycle of the year that started on January of 2025. Okay. Log each lift on its own designated page. Here's an example. This page is designated to back squat. Here you can see a pattern of load each week. and also the rate of perceived exertion. Okay, keep in mind this is just an example. Okay, now each week for the first 3 weeks, we're adding about 5 pounds, and then on the fourth week we deload. You know exactly how to approach the following week. Let's look at week 5 and week 3. On week 5, we are to work up to a 3 RM, 8 RPE, which is 2 rep in reserve. Now let's look at week 3. You did 110 for 5. So that would be the same as a 3 RM, 8 RPE, 110 on week 5. Now let's look at wave 2, week 5 of the second day of back squat, right? You did 105 for 5 for 8 RPE. And let's look at week 1, day 1, right? Which is heavy 5, 8 RPE, and you did 100. So you added 5 pounds to that weight. So basically, if you look at everything else, right, on the day 2 of wave 2, right, you're building up to a heavy 5 rep, 8 RPE, 9 RPE, 10 RPE for each week, right? That goes up too. You see what I did there? Okay. Now you see that picture, but there's a bigger picture. Let's move on to the second cycle of the year, week 1, and week 1 of the first cycle of the year. I started my week 1 10 pounds above the last cycle, which is 12 weeks ago. Most people are clueless. They don't know where to start. But if you take notes this way, you have the sense of direction. Okay, I'm just simplifying it. This is not the typical progress. You can actually look at the end result, which is week 11, how much gains you made. And that will determine on where to start the new cycle. Now, you have a purpose and intent to progress without putting yourself in a position of overreaching or undershooting. Worst case scenario, crash and burn and get hurt. So basically, whenever you put weight on that bar, you know you can do it. Hope you guys got something out of it. Um, how to properly take notes with efficiency and purpose is not really talked about in school or the strength community. So yeah, and I also want to thank everyone who ordered our merch, our beanies, last week, and thank you for the love and support. Stay tuned for more upcoming goodies and merch. And don't forget, hit like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Let's go!